Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigerian. I am Daniel Atai. Today's spectacle will beam into a compendium of President Muhammadu Buhari's achievements, enactment, and approvals of infrastructural and social amenities over the years. This is important in the wake of the threat and all propaganda pushed by COVID-19. It is also important for governance to continue in a developing nation like Nigeria, as Nigerians would want the remaining few years of this administration to dot the I's and cross the T's. Please stay tuned, and after this timeout, I shall introduce to you my guest analysts in the studio. Welcome back. Like I said, with me in the studio are A.A. Mohammed, Esquire. A.A. Mohammed is a public analyst and a social evaluator. And with him also is Comrade M.A. Asuku, a socio-political analyst. Gentlemen, A.A. Mohammed, welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Comrade Asuku.
Thank you very much.
You are an in-house now. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Before we go into the analysis, I want you guys to listen and watch this short minute clip of President Muhammadu Buhari's achievement over the years, though we actually have more to be done and more policies that have been approved yet to be implemented. So with this, we want also our audience to tell us whether we err in the fact that we are about to give to them or we are actually correct. However, your criticism should be constructive and be an agenda setting. Stay tuned and take a look.
Nigeria for long have been yearning for change until the emergence of President Muhammadu Buhari. Since then, the country have recorded laudable projects in every sector, one of which is education. President Buhari has shown his commitment to service delivery in the creation of the Maritime University Delta State, Nigerian Army University, Biu, Borno State, University of Agriculture, Zuru, Kebbi State, University of Transportation, Dara, Katsina State, Air Force University, Tafawa Balewa, Bauchi State. Also, 200 billion naira has been released to universities in Nigeria through the TED Fund. Also, President Buhari has created 6 federal colleges of education in 7 states of the country, namely Bauchi State, Benue State, Ebonyi State, Osun State, Sokoto State, Edo State, Federal Polytechnic Daura, Katsina State. In the area of healthcare, President Buhari did not disappoint as he established the Air Force Referral Hospital Daura, NAF Base Stand Hospital Bauchi, Women and Children Hospital Daura, 44 Military Hospital Kaduna, National Cancer Center Abuja, Cancer Center at the University Teaching Hospital Unilag, and a proposed Federal College of Health Science Otukpo. In the area of interventions, President Muhammadu Buhari billed out 27 governors and their states with finances running in billions of dollars. The infrastructural area have received a great boost as Nigeria has witnessed the creation of bridges, namely the second Niger Bridge, Loko Wetu Bridge, Nassau, Benue, and Southeast. Amongst the ports created are the Baru Inland Water Port, Kaduna Dry Port, Eastern Port in Delta State, Bonny Bridge and Road, River State, 15 fertilizer plants revived, the creation of Northeast Development Commission. The federal highways in Nigeria have also witnessed an improvement, including the Lagos-Sagamu-Ibadan Expressway, Kano-Maiduguri Expressway, Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Expressway, Apapa-Oshodi Owolonshoki Road, New Abuja Airport Runway and Terminal, Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway, Abuja Kefi Lafia Makudi Expressway, The aviation industry also witnessed great boost in the creation of the new Abuja Airport Terminal, New Lagos Airport Terminal, Port Harcourt Airport Terminal, Enugu Airport Terminal. The power sector is not left out, as it has also witnessed a great boost, which include the creation of the Dadin Kowa Power Plant Gombe, Kashimbila Hydro Power Plant completed, Mambila Hydro Power Plant awarded, independent power supply to Ariaria Market, Abia State, independent power supply Sabongeri Market, Kano State, independent power plants Sura Shopping Complex, Lagos, independent power plants for 37 universities, independent power plants for 7 teaching hospitals. There has been an ongoing oil exploration in Bauchi State. Also, over 200 billion naira released for investors, which is the first of its kind in the history of Nigeria. In the railway sector, President Muhammadu Buhari has extended his change agenda, creation of the Abuja Metro train, the Abuja Kano train, Itakpe, Kogi State, Warri Delta State, Lagos Abeokuta Ogun State, Ibadan, Oyo, Lagos Kaduna Cargo Train, Train Assembly Plan, Ogun, Lagos Kaduna Cargo Train. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari policies on trade and investment attracted the Wakot, which is the largest rice mill in Africa, Kebbi State, Olam, largest feed mill in Africa, Kaduna State, Sunti, largest sugar company in Africa, Niger State. In the area of social intervention programs, President Muhammadu Buhari made it possible with the implementation of 30,000 minimum wage for Nigerians, the creation of the Empower, the school feeding program, the trader money, the farmers' money, market money. In the area of pension and gratuity, President Muhammadu Buhari has implemented pension arrears payment for public servants, gratuity payment for public servants, Biafra soldiers entitlement paid, retired police pension, airways retirees settled. In the water sector, water supply and dam irrigation project completed by Buhari's administration in 2018 projects. They include the Central Obia Regional Water Project in Bayelsa State, Sapke Dutsi Mashi Water Supply Project in Katsina State, Kashimbila Dam in Taraba State, Agwashi Uku Dam in Delta State, the Shagari Dam Irrigation Project, Sokoto State. The housing sector is not left out, as each state across the country has witnessed the construction of 10,000 estate houses. Also, the Buhari Quarter Housing Scheme across the 36 states. With the challenges Nigeria is facing in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic, President Muhammadu Buhari is still determined to deliver service to Nigerians. For those who do not agree with this scorecard of President Muhammadu Buhari, they are free to come up with strong evidence to state otherwise. President Muhammadu Buhari has contributed a lot to the development of Nigeria. He has no equal in politics. He is irreplaceable and he will deliver more.
Welcome back. Well, we'll know about this, whether the gentlemen in the studio will agree to it or not. But however, we put these postulations before you so that in your various states, if what the compendium is talking about are not found in your state, you have your right to make a case before your governor and the minister that is representing you. However, I will start with you, sir, Esquire. You've seen the compendium and more to come anyway. So far, so good from 2015 to now. These are the infrastructural, social amenities, policies, implementations, and what have you that we've gathered so far on President Muhammadu Buhari. And in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, these things, especially the road constructions and many more, which hands were on deck implementing, almost going down the drain right now. So what is your pick? Is this compendium actually factual, or you have something adverse to say about them?
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, all that has been said there were facts.
Okay.
Yeah, they were all facts. And they are seeable. These are things that anybody could see. Especially because wherever the project is being erected, the people from that locality will know that such thing is existing.
Yes.
Most of what, in fact, except that some, because I can't listen to this program of the children in school, this feeding program.
Yeah.
I can't hear it there. Perhaps maybe they've not gotten to there. You see, we have that is an addition because before the coming of the present administration, we don't have such a thing. Only some few states, even at that, it was not maintained. Unlike what we are observing now, and the increment as well in education of our children, particularly from the northern part of the country, wherein partially, I wouldn't say they do not believe in education, but mostly the children were not, they do not have that drive that children should be forced to go to school.
Okay, before now.
Before now.
Okay.
But now, in fact, some governors are trying to carry out a penalty that any parent who does not send his child to school is going to face this penalty. All these are patterns and ways of making education a solid background for our children. Okay. And at the same time, though I had that one mentioned, that is the additional structure, construction, rehabilitations of institutions, like many new universities that were not in existence. There was one that I didn't hear of, the Maritime University.
No,
they mentioned it. Oh, that's beautiful.
The one I wanted to ask you is the Federal University of Health Sciences approved under Jonathan. And then when President Muhammadu Buhari came on board, I don't know that university, although the National Assembly still gave a consent and assent to it. I think the president has signed that bill, but we don't know where the file to that bill is. The university, as we speak, has not been established in Benue. It's supposed to be in Utupo. They said the proposed Federal University of Health Sciences, and it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be enacted now. We don't know. Are we having hope or not?
Anything about education under this government, we must have hope. Now, where I will push that forward to, which I believe that will actually come on board, it's the representative of Benue State.
Okay.
These are part of the job they asked them to come and do at the National Assembly.
All right.
How far have they gone?
Yeah, the senator has moved the motion twice. And I think assent has been done also by President Muhammadu Buhari. But we don't know what is delaying the implementation of that one.
And that is why I still believe that the representative are still the one to push it. That what is holding on.
Okay.
Yes, the president has assented. Okay. What is holding it? That is my understanding in respect of that.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. For now, I'll come back to you. Comrade Asuku, I don't know you are a comrade and a Luther member. I don't know where you are going to come out from. I don't know whether you had a glimpse of what the compendium. You have anything for or against the compendium so far?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dan. To say actually that the president, President Muhammadu Buhari, has not actually been working will be a total falsehood per se, but it is not also out of place that to whom much is given, much is expected. Okay. You and I would recall in 2015, the entire nation was clamoring for a change of government, and then there was actually a switch of power, and then we had this current dispensation come in and take over power. And we saw what they were able to do in 4 years. And basically, I will begin by saying that my fellow colleague here said the compendium which have been stated are actually facts. But you see, there are differences. When you say fact, there's a difference between a fact and a truth.
Yes.
These are two different things. When you say fact, they can be data that are actually, collated. But when you say a truth, we want to actually see these things actually on board. Now, I want to, at this point, a kind of deviate. Now, we talked about some of this palliative that we see in this particular health challenge, that palliatives were given and everybody had. And we saw media houses going out on the street to do a collation of statistics to ask the normal common Nigerian on the street if he or she had actually been a beneficiary of this palliative. And we saw quite a number of them said they didn't actually get this palliative. So the question will now be, was it a failure on the part of the FG not actually distributing the palliative as they actually claimed they did? Notwithstanding, he has actually done quite a number of jobs in his administration. But you see, there were actually expectations from the common man that the president, our current president, President Muhammadu Buhari, should have built on what we call the spirit of continuity. You see, that is what we lack in Nigeria, generally in our political space.
Okay.
You see, continuity is what I think at this point should be what we should begin to look towards, because the Jonathan administration started on a very good note, and we were actually thinking that this new dispensation will begin to build upon some of those things, those initiations and initiatives that the Jonathan administration actually brought. But what we see was a total disrupt.
But one of the initiatives from Jonathan's administration that I could remember is this IPPIS one.
Yes.
Another is this TSA, Treasurer Single Account.
Yeah.
I think the president continued with it. And even this Maritime University and this Federal University of Health Sciences.
Yes, but those were templates from the
Jonathan.
previous
Even
administration.
the BVN biometric verification number or bank verification number were from Jonathan's time, and we continued into it. So which area do you think that the president did not continue from where Jonathan stopped?
Okay, it is obvious that we are actually faced with a global pandemic challenge.
Okay.
And the secretary to the federal government, who was actually appointed by our president, said in a public broadcast that he didn't know until this responsibility of being chairman of the presidential task force of COVID-19 was saddled on him, that he didn't know the dilapidated state of our health sector. I mean, for you to say that, I mean, you begin to ask yourself, so what were the modus operandi that was taken in the area of health? Because you see, most times our so-called high-class Nigerian profiled individuals just take a flight. They go to Germany, today they are in India, tomorrow they are in China, taking health trips abroad. Even we see that even with our own president, of which if we had something that was actually of a global standard, now we have a pandemic and everybody is trying to rush to just cook up something from the blues, which, I feel if there was a structure in that aspect, we would have been able to curtail and manage what we are actually faced with. We look at what happened.
That is the health sector.
The health sector
was not much
was not given. There was no
priority.
There was no priority given to the health sector, and we see even foreign aids. Foreign monetary aids coming in. From the Western world. We tend to see a kind of boost in that sector, and we're not actually seeing this. So you begin to ask yourself, what is the problem? What is wrong? Where this money is going to? So.
Okay, you anyway, I'll come back to you.
I would like to react to
I know you react so that I will ask questions in the process.
Let me start with
mentioned
palliative. He mentioned palliative. I mentioned this health sector.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me start from the last, the health sector.
All right.
The gentleman, that is the secretary to the government, came out and said no.
Boss Mustafa.
Yeah, Boss Mustafa. That I was misunderstood. He says what he meant was that he never knew that they needed more enforcement in the health sector. that they should have done better than this. And that is the plan they have taken now. Fortunately, everybody is at home now. Those who could not stay in Nigeria for 1 week are permanently in Nigeria for about a month now. So everybody is now knowing where it pitches.
Yeah.
So, and I know immediately after the pandemic, that is, even if it because from the WHO, I learned this morning from BBC Observation that they said it has come to stay with us. That the way other viruses,
like HIV.
Thank you very much. That except we should just begin to think on how to manage it.
Okay.
So that is number one. Then number two, for the issue of palliatives, according to them, now I'm not talking for them, but according to
before you go into palliative,
right.
he said the health sector,
good.
Like you said, the man said there weren't much enforcement.
Yes.
Into the health sector as
well.
regard the arrest of COVID-19.
Very well.
But are there facilities enough, judging from the amount that have been budgeted and given towards the health sector? Could you justify it?
No, basically, for anybody that visit the hospitals in Nigeria, we know perhaps that what is expected were not in place.
Okay.
Yeah, no, actually they were not in place. Okay. So I want to believe
with this experience, and money were allocated to those things.
Yeah, you see, I want.
And the president, in his goodwill, allocated funds.
Yeah,
or the percentage of fund is not enough.
The funds presented were the claim from the minister.
Okay.
Health, that we will need this, and these are what were presented to the minister. So perhaps the minister do not foresee this calamity. So, and I think from now, that is when the minister and the government will begin to prepare. That no, we never expected this. It came as an accident. So let's begin to plan for many accidents coming, because definitely we wouldn't know. It could be another virus tomorrow. So we must just prepare. We must prepare for it. And they've taken that note. Yeah. By the time this problem, I do call it Uncle Koro. By the time it leaves, basically everybody will now, even the government officials that usually run to America, they will begin to talk that no. We have to put this in place. We have to put this in place. Yes, actually, for a little while we've not done enough. The government has not done enough, because just imagine from where I stay in Dubai.
Okay.
If a woman is about put into bed, and for example, in the middle of night, before you get to general hospital, either Maitama, Asokoro, any general hospital, because naturally, health center, even if they're going to be health centers, that some issues could be handled before such ailment could be said, okay, let's transfer it to a general hospital.
Yes.
We do not have it.
We have categories. We have the primary.
That is good.
We have the secondary, which is the general hospital. Then we have the tertiary, which is the national.
Thank you very much.
National.
So from the lower level,
yes,
the government should do something about it.
Okay.
We should have health centers closer.
No. The government is actually doing
good.
If you watch that compendium, the government have allocated money. Now, you are a public evaluator. I want to know, what do we do now to holistically arrest corruption at the state level that prevents implementations of infrastructural and social amenities? What do we do?
Follow up.
There has been follow-up.
No, I doubt it. I don't think the follow-up is properly done.
I have served in a local government.
Good.
And from my experience, there has been follow-up. It's just that there are persons that compulsorily compromises. Always.
What I mean by follow-up, from the local government now, the chairman is allocated with the project.
For, let's say, health.
Let's say health.
Money comes to health. The percentage comes to the state, and the state sends to the local government.
That is good.
And then behind again, the state again will come and collect the money sent to the local government for primary health care.
That was why they were advocating for local government autonomy.
Autonomy, yes.
Because of some of this, to checkmate some of these activities.
Yes.
You know, because you see a situation where money is actually budgeted and given to the local governments to actually fund and do realistic and things that can actually be a government project within the community level. You see people coming from the top to want to siphon these funds, and you begin to ask yourself, why is there no autonomy given to the local government sector so that they will be able to, you know, man what is given to them and put it into judicious use?
Now the NFIU you
Yes,
talked about,
yes.
are they functioning now?
Well, you want to say some are functioning partially and some are not functioning partially. Well, why that is? It's because we have loopholes in the structure of actually checkmating that this system.
He
is actually
mentioned
functioning.
monitoring
Yes.
as an evaluator. What other alternative to monitoring could be implemented in order to fast-track developmental projects?
You see, I have often said, Mr. Daniel, that we live in a country, unfortunately, which we are full of analysis and we are faced with less implementation. You see, experts are here in this country. We have professionals in various fields of endeavor. I would have expected that the FGU should be able to bring these experts together on a round table to download some major, you know, mundus operandi on how to actually attack or see how they can actually come up with a solution.
And are you saying, okay, are you saying from what he said, the experts he's talking about made up of technocrats?
Of
in
course.
the cabinet
Of
of
course.
Mr. President,
Of course.
we have them plenty. The current ministers, even if you watch the ambassadorial list of Mr. President, they are filled with technocrats, experts.
That's right.
I get what I'm saying. Of course, the selection or the appointment of the chief of staff, Ibrahim Gambari, is to show you how the president is thinking right. That professor of that cadre, not just a professor with bushy hair, a talk and do professor, a professor who knows the nitty-gritty of administration, policies, enactment. Now, could you say that the present administration, with all these calibers and cadres of pedigrees, will still fail in the remaining 3 years in case the remaining policies and what have you, the infrastructural, you know, approvals, do you think he will still fail in the implementation?
No.
Or do you suggest that we enact, what do you call it on corruption, this law, death penalty?
No.
I just
No,
want...
just I'm having the convention that from today, just begin to observe.
Okay.
By the time the remaining 3 years would have completed, you see it changed in Nigeria. That slogan that was brought at the beginning, you are going to say it.
There is
That's
another
our
slogan again. I am for nobody and I am for everybody.
And you can always see that he is.
Yes.
He is. We'll see it.
Anyway, we will take a short break, and when we come back, we'll digress a little, looking at the ambassadorial functions of this administration, because it's part of achievement, and what they stand to do as what other name do you call them? Envoys. So we'll look into them and give them some of the functions to be expected. Please stay tuned with TVN.
This is Television Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Mata Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, from the cradle. Stay inspired. Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seats and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your #1 choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on NightComSat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London. For inquiry,
Yeah, you're welcome back. And this is still Spectacle on Television Nigerian, and we are talking about the compendium so far of the achievement of President Muhammadu Buhari. If you started with us, you would have watched the clip so far. And if you have anything to say from any part of the world that you are, if you're watching us live, please call the number displayed on your screen. And for the sake of the vision impaired, we could call the number as 081 3701-5949 or 070-5432-7616. Be civil in your comment when you call and criticize constructively.
Please, sorry, Mr. Moderator, please just call it once again.
Okay. 081-3701-5949 or 070-5432-7616. And please, if you are calling from abroad, endeavor to put the Nigerian code, which is +234. Like I was saying, that ambassadorial nomination is part of, they are going to portray the image of the country in order to achieve. So is achievement in prospect. What would you set as an agenda for the ambassadors that are coming in now?
The prominent among us is they must make sure the country is represented in whatever country they might find themselves. Part of the representation of the country is the citizens of the country where they were sent to. Okay. That is the Nigerian citizens in that country.
Where they are designated.
Where they are designated.
Okay.
They must properly, as in the information we had recently that some students in, I think either is in China or where, that they've been molested. This is a job of the ambassador of that country.
Okay, in that country.
In that country.
Okay.
He ought to protect whoever is citizen of his country.
Okay.
Must be properly represented and safeguarded. And at the same time, what they don't usually do, we don't hear it, that to visit, particularly the students, because the students were not there for permanency.
Yes.
They are just there temporarily.
Okay.
Some of these ambassadors ought to be going to meet them in their hostels or hold a kind of symposium with them,
okay,
to be telling them, you see, this is a different country.
Yes.
Please abide and respect their rule and law.
Yeah.
The moment you do that, there's not going to be any embarrassment. That I would advise them to put as part of their job.
Okay. All right. You have anything to say? Once again, the numbers are open. If you want to call, you call straight and make your contributions. You have anything to say to our ambassador designated?
Well, I would at this point say that every ambassador is actually chosen from amongst the citizenry to represent, and it will be needful at this point if representation is done very well, accountably, and they should take into cognizance that they are there to represent the good people of the whichever
the good people of our country, Nigeria.
you know. So it is only needful that they should do what is actually expected, you know, as good citizens of the country.
The image of the country over time, or before now, has been seriously battered all over the world.
Right.
From drug to sex trade, Act 419, that is advanced free fraud, and so on. How would these ambassadors, especially those ones going to the prone countries where these things are, you know, predominantly happening by Nigerian citizens, like you may? Okay,
yes. You see, in fact, there is one you do not mention that is perhaps our youth moving into it now.
Okay.
This Yahoo issue.
Okay, Yahoo. It's part of advanced free fraud.
Okay.
It's advanced. It's in the Act 419 of the Nigerian Constitution.
That's good. So the government is trying on it, honestly speaking, because you see the establishment of these government agencies, particularly the for example, EFCC, ICPC, even the Nigerian police. You need to see how they trace those boys, the way they were apprehended, because if not from their experience and the advance, the way, perhaps maybe it is their training. Yeah, from Abuja here, they will be able to link somebody that is doing this either in Benin or in Ibadan or in Maiduguri. We that practice experience this. I just came back yesterday from Kaduna in this kind of the situations. You see these young chaps. Do you think your fathers who do not have money, they don't want to have money? They do. But what do you think? That all this your instead of that experience you had, that technology you have, come and put it.
But where is the environment for such students or young chaps with this knowledge of technology and the usage? Where are they going to practice it in the country?
You see, Mr.
I'll come back to you.
Mr. Dan, I was watching a little commentary earlier this morning. A Ghanaian who actually flew to Korea, and he went there at about his teenage age, and he should be around 38, 39 years of age by now. And he was actually giving a full detail about himself. And he was actually saying that the country he has found himself, which is Korea, actually gave him a platform, which his own home country actually didn't give him because of certain talent he actually possessed. And he was seen over there as a celebrity.
From Ghana.
From Ghana. And you want to see, right, all over the world. When you look at the area of music, you look at the area of sports, you look at the area of medicine, law, you know, we have very, very good minds from this country who are actually top leading in those foreign countries. And you begin to ask yourself, what is the reason? That's because they have the free space to actually exhibit the gifts and the talent God has blessed them with. But you want to bring them down home here. They begin to want to a kind of struggle because the space here does not actually give them the platform to strive. You know, I started as a young man in church as a drummer. And I've been playing the drums for well over 20 years of my life. I remember a white man came into the church in the 90s, those days, where I was actually privileged to serve as the head drummer. And he was so thrilled by my passion, the way I was actually playing. And he walked up to me after service and he said, "Young man, do you know if you were in Manchester United, you would have been a global celebrity. Yeah, celebrity. You would have been the talk of the best drummers in the world." And I asked him, I said, I would have loved to be there, but the platform is not there. You know, so if I had the space to actually harness my giftings and my talent, I would have done well. So now, in talking about our youth, you see, minoring on the major and majoring on the minor. They are throwing their weight at negativism. Why? Because the space, which is our
when you mean space.
Yes, I'm talking about our own country home, Nigeria, doesn't give them the opportunity to actually do as occasion would serve them. Recently, there was a documentary. Someone was putting together, I think, this sanitizer, homemade sanitizer.
And a guy designed
ventilators and all those things. Now, you begin to ask yourself, why are these guys not, brought into the system,
the Ministry of Science and Technology,
so that they can actually have a platform to actually do even far more better. I believe that everything we need is in Nigeria. We don't need to export. We don't need to import anything from anywhere, because we have the mineral resources. We have the brain. We have the land. We have everything. In fact, a white man said you can literally pick gold on the streets of Nigeria. That's because opportunities abound everywhere. And we're actually a black race that actually turn our challenges into opportunities. You see, even in this pandemic, you see young men and women coming up with innovations that will stop the war. Now, if such persons who have come up with one or two local-made ventilators and all of that, if they were to be outside the country, you mean they would even go further than where they actually
be encouraged.
Yes, they will be encouraged. And the platform will be given to them to actually do even more.
Now, judging from that perspective of what Mr. President has done so far, would you say that there are lapses still in harnessing talents and creativities in the country?
No, basically, But I know the assurance is that
because they allocated budget into education, into the Ministry, Science and Technology. And you could see what we just showed you. What is actually wrong with us? When I mean us, I reflect back to Jerry Rawlings' statement that there is something wrong with the black.
That's perspective.
Because if you bring, he said, if you bring a Chinese farmer to the country, to Nigeria now, the whole, even Nigerian professors will give him the enabling environment to excel.
That's right.
And the Chinese farmer could, even with 20 billion, let's say $million, or let me say just 20 million naira, could in less than 3 years take about 100 million to China in dollars. But it's a farmer that don't even know Beijing, but we'll give him that courtesy. We'll give him that enabling environment because he carries the white pigment. What is wrong with us? I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's a very great question. That honestly speaking, you wouldn't be able to define it. Yes, truly, what is wrong with us? But I want to believe that we are moving.
I think I see politics.
No, let me start an example.
Let him talk.
I don't think. I think
we are
moving.
We have 5 minutes to round up.
Yeah, honestly, we are moving. We are moving because I think yesterday or day before yesterday, from the newspaper, 2 Chinese were presented.
Yes.
They took about 50 million to the chairman of EFCC in Sokoto.
Yes.
Yeah, perhaps maybe it is part of these Nigerians that told them, look, we are corrupt in this country. Take this money, go and give to the chairman. In fact, that case will be closed. Yeah. So they have the belief. But because we are moving, it's only that movement is not good enough.
Okay.
We are moving.
Otherwise, it's in a millipede space.
We are not moving faster enough. Okay. But I know one day we'll get to that. What my brother is just trying to say here, that platform. One day we'll get there.
All right. So your last word for the viewers and the government.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. For the government, I will say, I have often said that if there is no structure, there is bound to be a rupture in any system. Instead of us actually doing more of analysis on a routine base, and then we don't actually do the right approach to implement what is actually being analyzed, we will still remain on the same spot, because it is insanity to keep on doing the same thing and expect a different result. We should adopt approaches that are actually most favorable and suitable to our own context here in Nigeria, so that we'll be able to champion the cause of our own advancement, because we are the own propellers of our own destiny. And at this point, viewers, I'd like you to stay safe and adhere to every government policies in the face of this pandemic. And I pray God will see us through this global pandemic.
All right, thank you, Comrade Asuko. Your last word, sir, and on that, your last word, I want you to advise us. Do we lock down continuously, or we, cushion the lockdown? Ghana has just asked the tourist ministry to open all hotels and everything and go back to business. What do we do?
No, we shouldn't lock down completely, because it's not helping our economy. We could see within these few days, these few weeks, we've seen what has happened to the economy, to everybody. So I think, just like you rightly say, like other countries have been saying, and they've been moving on. Look, let's go on. The only thing is just the ideas. Now they've told us that we must cover, we must wear.
We have come to live with it for now.
And now, for now.
So let's look for local solutions.
That is all.
And move on, with, our economy.
With our lives.
Thank you very much. And I think this is where Spectacle will stop today on Television Nigeria. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. Drop your comments if you have any. Be constructive in your criticism. And we'll continue to feed you with our gender setting mechanism from here. Thank you for watching. I have been Daniel Atai. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai.